This clip of the Texas Bucket List is brought to you by Spirit of Texas Bank, Slovacek Sausage, Germania Insurance, TX Burger, and RV Source. Howdy, and welcome back to the Texas Bucket List. You know, it's hard to make Texas any more awesome than it already is, but there is one thing that will up the cool factor: an old car. You'll find classics all over our back roads and highways, but if you want to see the cleanest and rarest cars of them all, well, you'll have to make a stop in San Marcos. When it comes to the cars of yesteryear, it's hard not to stare at these unique pieces of art that used to be part of everyday life.
The biggest, sexiest, biggest cars ever made, they're awesome to see.
Thomas Fortney is the curator of Dick's Classic Garage in San Marcos.
How does one become a curator of a classic car garage?
I lucked into it.
Thomas gets to showcase this incredible collection of cars that got started in 1980 by World War II veteran Dick Burdick. It features rides from a specific time in American history.
Well, we stopped at 1959 because that was kind of the last year the American auto industry was kind of the great years. We started off with the 1901. We showed the evolution of the car up through the 50s and how it impacted the society in America and how society impacted the automobile as it grew together. These
aren't your typical vintage vehicles. They're some of the rarest retro rides in the world.
This is the Tucker. It's number 1050. Last one produced. Curtis Foster had it. He rebuilt it in the 90s, restored it using original Tucker pieces. He found all the body panels from wrecked Tuckers and some extra pieces, so it is a complete Tucker.
And this one has very low mileage.
Very low mileage, 5/10 of a mile. It has never been driven. It is the only Tucker that has never been driven. It's got the great combination of rarity and value.
Another hard-to-come-by carriage, the dazzling Duesenberg. They've got 4 of them.
Some of these were generally about $12,000 to $15,000, up to $20,000.
Back then, that had to have been
an unbelievable amount of money. It's kind of like the Veyrons today, the Bugattis, the high-end cars. That would be the only thing that would be even close to comparable. And they were the fastest, most luxurious cars ever built.
Yeah, they were definitely one of a kind.
Oh yeah.
And each one of these is worth how much today?
Anywhere from $1 million to $1.5 million, depending on the car and who wants it bad enough.
Let me go get my checkbook.
Yeah.
If you really want to feel like royalty, this 1939 Chrysler has an amazing lineage. From the showroom floor to the World's Fair in New York, where the King and Queen of England took it for a spin.
Chrysler took it back and they used it during World War II. FDR actually rode, where you're sitting right now, during World War II, and rode this around to tour the production plants.
Wow. So much history. Kings, noblemen, and presidents.
Yep.
And this guy.
With so much history in these halls, beams of beauty and metal magnificence, one often forgets about the folks who have to maintain these modern marvels. Unless you just happen to meet them.
If you don't go to school and you don't learn to read and write, this is what you end up doing for a living.
Well, you seem like you're having fun.
Oh, yeah.
Ray Terry has been tinkering with trucks and even the Tucker for the past 32 years.
You get to work on cars guys dream about.
Well, if they knew the whole story, they probably would think more of it being a nightmare.
Yeah, he's always hiding back there. Usually he doesn't like cameras back in the shop, so you guys got pretty lucky.
Ray's got a long history of being hands-on with hot rods, and it all started when he grew up in Austin.
Austin never had a drag strip, but San Antonio did, and so we'd have to tow down to San Antonio back in the 50s and race.
Every morning we go back for some coffee and a couple more stories every morning, so it's the best part of my day.
Kind of goes along with the whole thing, like they don't make them like they used to.
And that's good. That's real good. Yeah, blessed, I'm glad they don't.
Now a mature mechanic, this wheel whisperer has the task of making sure these rare relics stay true to form.
What's the best part about working on these old cars for you?
Making them do something they don't want to do. I mean, they're kind of like me. They just want to rest. That's what they want to do. They just want to rest, and then you force them to run. And it's a battle. Yeah. And you win some, you lose some. Sometimes they win the battle. Sometimes you don't get them running, but most of the time we do, yeah.
Ray's kind of the heart and soul of the museum. He can't let anything be broken. He's always got to fix it. He's always got to make it the best it can possibly be. And he's kind of the reason we've been here as long as we have and showcase these cars like we can.
For Ray, it's about remembering a time when a car was more than just something to get you from point A to point B. It defined who you were.
Man, that was freedom. That was, all of a sudden you were whole, you know. We loved our cars, whatever they were. We loved them.
While most consider these classics a bygone era, they're a strong reminder of his days here in Old Texas. They shine with brilliance, thanks to the hardworking hands of a man whose heart still revs with pride for these chariots of the past.
Well, they're going away. And there's less and less and less of them, and less people interested in doing anything with them. We hang on here, and if you'd like to know how it kind of was, well, you can come here and see kind of how it was, as far as automobiles is concerned.